Hi, so I'm not currently teaching, but I hope to teach secondary music, and I'm going to set this assignment in the context of a middle school chorus. My three top elements of a learning community are, the first one is being clear what the outcome is so that the students know what's expected. That falls under the teacher presence category on the Learning Solutions magazine article, which talks about planning and organizing, scaffolding, differentiation, all the things we would do face-to-face. From the e-learning industry article, it says you establish learning goals and objectives from the beginning. That's important to any class and music as well. You would be surprised how many kids in middle school sign up for chorus and don't actually know really what they're signing up for. Typically, especially if they know that we go to Hershey Park, at the end of the year for a chorus competition, they'll sign up to go, not realizing that they actually have to sing through the entire semester. So it's important for kids to know what is expected and what the outcome is of a face-to-face class and a blended or an online class. My second element that I think is important is the social presence. From the Learning Solutions magazine, it says increased comfort levels create the conditions that allow for open expression of individual opinions, ideas, and positions. That's a really big deal in music class for kids to feel like they trust each other, because singing especially is a very vulnerable art to do, because it's the instrument is within your body, so criticism towards that can really really affect kids, and they're really apprehensive to sing, especially by themselves or even with small groups where they could be heard. So it's important that they establish that social presence. And the article also talks about, it says the instructor facilitator is most responsible for establishing the appropriate climate, and I think that the teacher is really responsible in a music classroom for it being a safe environment to have a voice crack or to miss a note or something, and for kids to understand that it's okay and that's really just part of the learning process. So in an online community, if I have students work in groups on a song, like maybe they work on a song and they upload a video and they peer review each other's videos, they have to really, really trust their peers to put that kind of video or audio clip out there. And the third one, which was actually really my favorite, really stuck out to me, was the EdSurge News article. It says, quote, envision the online platform as a scaffold for offline work. Because when I think of blended learning, I guess I was really thinking about students kind of looking at a computer and then reading or watching something and then responding on the computer with questions or comments or something, and then submitting on the computer, where that specific point gave the example of kids reading ingredients and directions for baking, and then they bake, and obviously they're not using a computer to bake the muffins or whatever. And I thought that actually really applies to the performing arts, because I could provide online instruction to the kids, but then they wouldn't have to necessarily respond in some kind of written fashion. They can actually practice. So a couple examples would be, I said I could post a sight singing written clip notation that I wrote out on my website or whatever platform the school prefers, and the kids could record themselves singing it and submit it to be peer reviewed. Or I could divide the kids into groups, maybe groups of 4, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, or if it's middle school, soprano, soprano, alto, if the boys' voices haven't changed yet. And I could give them like a clip of written notation, and they have to learn their part, and then they're in the group, so each group member has a different part, and then when they practice and collaborate, then it creates a song of 3 different parts. They could collaborate using Skype. That's challenging though, because even with the best internet, there is a split-second delay, so you can't actually sing at the exact same time as somebody else, but you could sing and your peer could read your part and correct whether you sang it correctly or not. Also, the Simplicity blog mentioned creating an in-real-life community, so students who were in groups could potentially just go to each other's houses or something and create and practice together and then upload their finished product. Or I could give directions about the music. So if I want kids to really look at their octavos, the choral pieces that they're given, I could say, circle all the dynamic marking, circle all the louds and softs, the mediums, the crescendos, that kind of thing. And they would be looking online for those directions from me. I would say, this particular piece, find where it says piano, where it says soft, and they would literally look at their own music in their hands or physical copies, and they could circle the things that they need to know for class the next day. So I really liked that specifically about taking an online course but applying it to the performing arts, because that's kind of where I was struggling with how I would go about doing that. Because at the end of the day, the outcomes would be to perform on your instrument, not so much reading about the voice or about other singers, but how to use your own mechanism and the music that goes along with it. So those were my 3 elements.